Hello, and welcome to Building Leadership Community Podcast. I'm your host, Dora Mendez. I am the founder and CEO of Coach Dora LLC. Our guests will be entrepreneurs, small business owners, and community leaders that drive social impact. It can be lonely at the top, but it doesn't have to be. Hello, and welcome to Building Leadership Community Podcast. I'm your host, Dora Mendez. Thank you to all our listeners and viewers. And if you're new to our podcast, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that little bell so you get a notification for when episodes are posted. So again, I really want to thank everyone for joining us. Since launching Building Leadership Community Podcast, it has been nothing short of transformative. The journey has been fantastic. We've had some great conversation. And as a champion of inclusive leadership, growth, and connection, Season 2 is all about deepening the conversations and expanding our impact. At its core, Building Leadership Community Podcast is about fostering authentic leadership and empowering professionals to build stronger, more engaged communities. Every episode dives into strategies, insights, and personal stories to help you with your leadership journey and to help you navigate with confidence and purpose. Let me tell you more about today's guest. I'm spotlighting the power of connection and shared wisdom in leadership. My guest today is someone I had the pleasure of meeting through the incredible network of United Latinas, a testament to strength and support within our community. I'm pleased to welcome author, speaker, and founder of hola-books, LLC, the inspiring Heidi Monika Romer. Before I bring her to the stage, I just want to share Heidi is not only a dynamic voice in leadership, but also my co-author and book sister in the impactful series Extraordinary Latinas, Volume 4. This collection shines a light on the remarkable journeys and contributions of Latina leaders, and our involvement speaks volumes about our commitment to uplifting and sharing our stories, aligned with the vision of this podcast. Get ready for an insightful conversation with a true advocate of leadership and the power of Latina voices, the wonderful Heidi Monika Romer. Welcome to the stage.
Hello. Thank you for having me here today, Dora.
I'm so thrilled, and I meant all those things I said, and I'm about to make you blush because I have more great things to say about you. I want to, if it's okay with you, I want to read your bio so our listeners and viewers can get to know a little bit more about you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Heidi is a visionary leader and strategist with 15 years of experience driving impact across nonprofit and private sectors. As an author and speaker, she empowers organizations and individuals through insight on leadership, social impact, and personal growth. As a first-generation American and bicultural leader, she has been a companion for diverse communities, particularly Latina women and professionals, ensuring they have the tools, resources, and networks to thrive. Recognized with the prestigious Leadership Award, she serves on the United Latinas board and continues to bridge worlds, break barriers, and drive meaningful change. So I'm so thrilled that you're on our show today. And I really want you to start by sharing with our listeners and viewers a little bit about your leadership story, your career journey.
Yeah, and I want to go back to just to say thank you again for including me as part of your vision, as part of Coach Dora, as part of your podcast. You can pick anybody. So thank you for having me here. I appreciate you. And when I think about leadership, and I've been thinking about this more and more, recently. I think it started even before I knew what leadership was. Um, Honestly, I feel like I've been taking care of myself since I was about 12 years old. Honestly, right? Figuring things out, navigating things, taking care of myself. Um, Fast forward, you know, um, when I think about the jobs I've had, they were in support roles, in service roles, right? To serve others. And kind of I'm trying to give you cliff notes, right? And then moving along, getting into really a place where I found purpose, which was community health, social determinants of health, really working in community. I really think that was kind of my sweet spot where I found kind of passion and purpose. And it really has been an evolution. And then fast forward to now, I'm in my 40s,
Oh,
and
you didn't have to age yourself. No, stop. I'm kidding.
yeah, let me tell you, 40s are great.
It is. I turned 50 in January, so
Girl, God bless you, right? 50 years young, like real talk, like
yes.
50. I'm knocking on 50, Dora. So, in my 40s now, it's like, well, what else do I want to do? So I have, entered into the entrepreneur space, and it is hard.
Yes, that is why we started this show,
Yeah.
Heidi. I'm in there too. So why don't you share a little bit about the challenges, but also I learned something from a another guest, which it's limitless. It's
Mm,
limitless. We're not because we're working for ourselves. There, it's limitless.
mm.
And so that's I stole that from another guest, Gilliam,
See,
from I love.
borrowed,
I borrowed it. I borrowed it. Yes,
borrowed.
thank you for helping me, reminding me to use affirming language. Go ahead, Heidi. Tell us about that entrepreneurship. It is hard, but that's why we're here. That's why I invited you to help build community and to motivate and inspire others.
Yeah, so first I would say I wish I would have I've been saying this to myself, like choose you. It's okay to choose you first. And I wish I would have chose me first a long time ago, right? So now this is the year I'm choosing me. I have these ideas, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna turn these ideas into a business, because that's what we see people do, right? And it is I think what's been hard for me is just figuring it out, all the pieces, money,
Oh yeah.
partnerships, who do you trust, um, being my own cheerleader, right? On days that aren't going so well, like, no, you got this. Remember why you're doing this, uh yeah, it's been hard. There's no playbook for us, right?
There isn't, but I want you to know you're not alone.
Yeah,
You're not alone, especially female entrepreneurs.
yeah,
There are lots of us. It can be lonely at the top. It's the tagline, right? But it doesn't have to be.
yeah,
And you gotta get up and do it. And there'll be days that are so fantastic and great that you'll just feel so happy that you did it. Um, and I know you're happy on now. I know you're going on like a bit of a tour, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about hola-books and
yeah.
and your business? I'd love for folks to learn more about you.
Thank you so much. So the first project I'm working on that I haven't even really talked about, it's Heidi Monika. So it's me, right? Like, who am I? Really branding myself, author, speaker. So that's a project that's gonna come out even before Hola Books. And honestly, I'm hoping that can help me fund Hola Books, right? Speaking engagements, panel opportunities, collaborations. But all our books really started with the books we wrote. So as you said, we're book sisters, right? With United Latinas, that volume 4. And that's my second story. My first story was actually with Latinas 100, which is another project And you and I should talk about that, because that's with another amazing publisher. And her goal is to publish 1 million Latino authors by 2030. But
Oh,
we'll
wow.
talk about that, But that was my first story. Then I did the second story with United Latinas. And then I started looking, just kind of at data and information. And I said, wow, it's some crazy number here in the United States. Like, I don't know, I think like 30 million, Latinos. I think that it might even be more. I think there's only 12,000 Latino published authors, though, in the United States. And the percentage, like overall, is like in the single digits. So that's really what made me kind of have like a moment like, well, what am I going to do about that? Because we have brilliant stories. We have our voices matter. We're so unique, right? And so fast forward, I said, I'm gonna do a bookstore. So I have a friend who has an online bookstore, and is dedicated to the Black community, the Black culture, Black books. I said, I want to do that for the Latinos. So hola-books. It's going to be a celebration of Latino and Caribbean voices and stories. And the reason I was very specific in adding the Caribbean, not only because I'm Puerto Rican, but I feel like people forget about the islands, right? They forget about Jamaica. They forget about Haiti, right? Like, and I'm like, no, we're going to include that as well. So it's going to be an online bookstore. It's going to be events. It's going to be pop-ups, and it really is going to be a hub and resource. So let's say you want to write a story, we're going to have resources for you. If you, let's say you're elderly and you're like, I've always wanted to do this, but I can't write it. Okay, let's do it where we're recording your voice and make memories for you and your family. So it's authors, publishers, journalists, our stories, us. You're gonna be there, hopefully. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
so
when you have the pop up, I'm happy to be there and
yeah,
get my booth ready and network and mingle. And I'm so
yes,
excited when you come to New York because I guess I want to share with the audience that you're Florida based and I'm New York based, but we still build community virtually and on the phone and all that good stuff. And
yes,
books are a great way to build community. I love
yes.
this idea about not only is the speak to text or the now with AI technology, you can help folks do that, but that's a great accommodation, not just for older people who can't physically write or physically type, but for everyone of all abilities. The
Anyone, right?
technology is just fantastic.
But even like when I really think about that though, when I think about all our books and what I hope it will be able to do for our community, right? And allies and friends, right? But really for our community, even if like you're like, I don't want to be an author, that hasn't been my thing. I still think it is important for you to write your story down for your
Storytelling.
daughter, for your grandchild, for like, let's get your history down. Let's get these stories down. Storytelling is the oldest form of community for me, right? Think about it. I'm talking like way back when, right? It was a come around the campfire. We're gonna tell a story. If we're in the house, come around the kitchen. We're gonna have a story, right? If we're at work, pochichando. Let's let's. So it's all around the story. So I'm excited. I get all hyped up when I start talking
Oh,
about
I'm
it.
happy for the transcript. Bonchinchando means gossiping. Uh, you know what? Something you put in your bio that I'd love for you to just expand upon is the bicultural. Can you share with I hope if I'm prying, you can tell me to stop, but
No.
if you can share what the two cultures are.
Yes, I'm Puerto Rican and German, and both my parents weren't born on the mainland. They came here as teenagers. So I know PR is part of the U.S., but mainland here. So that's where Heidi Romer, very, but
Very
Heidi,
German. Heidi is very German, right?
yeah. So Heidi, yeah, Puerto Rican and German.
which is a wonderful mix. Only in America can you make that mix, right?
And in New York, right? Meeting and mingling,
In New
right? That
York,
happens in New York, right?
yes, and I love it because your New York accent is coming out, and I love it.
Because I'm
Uh,
excited, Dora. If I wasn't, it would.
So why don't you share? I would love for you to share because I mean, you kind of did in your story. You're kind of like modeling leader. It seems like you've modeled leadership, and you sort of navigated leadership by knowing what doesn't work for you, by learning like what doesn't serve you well. Um, so what, you've been in support roles and then you realize I've got to take care of myself. It's sort of like I got to put my mask on first before I can help
Yeah.
others. So what would tell your younger self if you would go back in time? What would you tell your younger self that would you think would be a really good piece of advice for the next generation of leaders?
Yeah, I always go back to high school because for me, high school was really challenging for me. Um for many reasons. And I always kind of go to this. I would tell my younger self or young ladies and young men in high school, when you graduate, it's not the end of anything. It's the beginning of everything, right? And I think that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is even if you don't have it all figured out, you still have to do something because I feel we don't have the luxury to be undecided. I feel like that. We don't have the luxury, and I'm talking about the Latino community. We don't have the luxury to like, oh, we'll just figure it out. Some of you are, and I think if you are, and if you in that position, it's a blessing. But even if you don't have to all have it figured out, but don't stop. Keep moving, keep going, and I would say, ask questions. And no question, is a stupid question, is the wrong question.
Lead with
Ask questions.
curiosity. That's
Yes.
my lead with curiosity.
Yes. Yes. And I would say you have to be your biggest advocate. You for yourself. You really have to, Um, keep pushing. Don't take no for an answer, right? Keep striving, keep learning, so those are, I think, the immediate things that I would say, to someone, younger, much younger than me now.
Don't act like you're old. We are doing very well for ourselves. This is a new chapter for both of us.
Yes.
Um, and let's continue this incredible community one meaningful episode at a time. So, Heidi, I want to thank you for being here. And I really, really like what you said about when you graduate, it's not over. I think that's really, I remember graduating and thinking, oh my gosh, I mean, I knew I was going to college. I had gotten my acceptance, but I had a sense of dread rather than a sense of joy. And so I think I like that whole lens of it's not over, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's
The
not over
beginning
for
of
us.
everything.
And it's not over for us either as entrepreneurs. We have a new chapters, and I love the concept of hola-books. I can't wait to get involved. I'm so happy that you could share that here with our
Thank
listeners and
you.
viewers. So why don't you hold on? I'm gonna put you in the wings while we do our outro, but I would love for you to hold on for a second. So, oh, I almost forgot. Why don't you tell everyone how we can learn more about you, what your social media handles are, etc.
Yeah, thank you so much. LinkedIn would be a great way, and it's Heidi Monika Romer. And on Instagram, it's Heidi Monika. And for Ola Books, it's not up yet. I'm still working on that. It's still in process. And the HeidiMonika.com, it will be ready like in a week.
And so it's Monica with a K for our listeners. And if you're in your car listening to us, don't pull over. We're going to put the
Won't pull
links.
over.
We're going to put the links in the description of the episode. So when you get home, or if you're listening on your phone or whatever, wherever you get your podcasts, it'll be in the description. And it'll also be in the description on our YouTube page. So Heidi Monika with a K, Romer, thank you so much for all your wisdom and all you do.
Thank you, Dora.
You've been listening to Building Leadership Community. Watch on YouTube at Coach Dora and listen wherever you get your podcasts. Follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube at Coach Dora and visit me on the web at CoachDoraMendez.com. Hosted by me, Dora Mendez. Produced by Dora Mendez and Dylan Rogers. Graphics, editing, and sound mixing by Dylan Rogers.